Hello, everyone. Thanks a lot for joining. We're super happy to have you with us for our next monthly talks webinar. So, yeah, joining us today as your hosts are Mario and Gabor. Hello, guys.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining.
Thank you. So now we can dive into our full agenda. Today, we're going to cover quite a few new features or some updates. We'll start with our new exciting feature challenges. We did a little sneak peek last time, but now we'll dive into it a bit more. Then we'll also cover fresh learning path improvements, a few new updates in the authoring tool, including images in multi-choice answers and global text styles, but also free admin-related items such as manager view, custom lesson types, and new users tab view. We'll also show our new coupon code system, a brand new feature, and finish with 2 updates on access management in the events tab. So I hope you're excited for these topics. Let's now jump to the very first one. The very first one is challenges. So now I will leave it up to Mario and Gabor to tell us a bit more about this feature that is now live.
Yeah, so the challenge feature is a nice one. We did a small sneak peek last time, but we'll go into detail anyways. I mean, it was really requested by our clients, also requested by Gucci team, for example, and we really saw that there was a huge need for this, and that also that it's a very exciting addition to the learning experience and to the learning platform. And so, what this will allow you to do is to have, let's say, timed challenges that run over a specific amount of time. Let's say a challenge of the month or a challenge of this quarter of the week, and you can kind of really engage different teams, different groups of people to really get them excited to engage with a certain type of content, with a special quiz, and to really take the challenge together and really also then see how they score. I think, Gabor, you can give us a little bit more technical insights as well, because I know it's a very powerful feature. But yeah, it's definitely something that we were very excited about with the UX team. And that's also really, in terms of marketing, you can really make it very visual. So it's really a nice dynamic feature.
Yes, but as all features, this is going through different an evolution as well. So it's the first release, which is quite complete already, but we have some new features planned around this. However, what you can do is, technically speaking, to create a specific quiz on the platform. So when you are creating the quiz, it needs to be with the type challenge quiz. And if you have at least one of these quizzes, then you can create a challenge. One challenge consists 1 up to 3 quizzes at the moment. In the future, we think about maybe adding some dependencies of completing other content, or maybe adding some more content already in the challenge to make sure that the learning part of this knowledge is also followed up maybe in the challenge. But for the moment, we are focusing on the quiz part, on the assessment part. So the learners can learn what they what maybe you put in the description, how to successfully complete this challenge, and after they are doing these quizzes. Now each challenge has a small leaderboard, so you might have a global leaderboard on the platform also enabled, but all the challenges have their own small leaderboard as well, which is starting empty when the challenge starts. You can, of course, define what is the start date of the challenge, what is the end date of the challenge. And as the users are completing the challenges, the quiz, they will get more and more. You can see the ranking on the screen on the right side. They get more and more points. The pointing system is the same as for quizzes, generally speaking, which is a speed and accuracy, we always say. So the faster and the more accurately you do these quizzes, the more points you are going to get on this leaderboard. And when the date ends of the challenge, then you can define which people from the leaderboard of this challenge leaderboard are going to get a specific badge. We can see on the screen that you can create badges like with a specific type for the challenge badge, and then after this can be used during the challenge. So kind of this is, we are planning to have more uh, kind of badges after completion, maybe not for the first 1 to 10 learners or participants, but also, let's say, percentage based. Let's say the everyone who is in the first half of the ranking can get one, or maybe a separate batch for the first one, for the second and the third one. So we have more ideas to make it even more playful, and also to create more statistics around these challenges. But yeah, this is it. It's important that you need to add the widget on the landing page. That's where people can access these challenges. So it's really up to you where you place it. Um, and then the learners will see that the challenge is upcoming, and when it is ended, they can go back and see the others as well, how they were ranked. So yeah, that's the challenge feature. Very useful to bring back people, because we are always looking for more gamification features, and this is also a way how to get more points, more badges on the platform, generally speaking.
Yeah, and it's quite a unique feature in a sense that it's not normally visible on the left side menu as some achievements or leaderboard points, but then you really have this one shot in a way for attending the challenge, and it depends on the addition of the widget to the dashboard, as Gabor explained. So feel free to test it out, and of course, if you have any questions on the specific feature or the ones that we will cover a bit later, we will also have a dedicated Q&A blog for at the end of that webinar, and also afterwards, if there are any points. So we can now move swiftly to our next feature, which is, let's say, globally speaking, learning path improvements. There are a few that are coming, but for today we have one that is quite interesting. Yeah, so maybe Gabor, you can take us through that in detail.
Yes, so we are planning and we are creating a lot of learning path improvements. And the first one that we can see here is the locking of the path. So you can have another learning path that is unlocking the second learning path, for example. And that really helps. We are planning and we created new layouts also for the learning path. We created one which is a condensed view, which is going to have not to have like the super long learning path. But we are also planning a grouping feature for learning paths, but this is going to come in the future. So what we are seeing now is the restriction of the access when another learning path is completed, and you can also restrict access until a specific badge is received. So, for example, you can say the learning path can be started if, let's say, some other content is finished, or you gave a badge for a challenge and you can only start the learning path after the challenges are done. So this is really giving some flexibility to control who can start the path. It's different from the access settings because, of course, you can say, or you can define who is seeing the learning path. So maybe it is completely hidden from some users, some paths. But this is more that it is visible, but you're locked to start, until you do some other action.
Great, thanks a lot for this one, Gabor. Let's now jump to our next feature update, and this is related to the authoring tool, as you can already see on the animation. Mariel, would you like to tell us more about this exciting multimedia update?
Yeah, this is a nice one. So it's a simple one, but very, very nice. As you can see here on the screen, you're going to be able to upload images as part of the multiple choice um, answers. So basically, what you can do, what that means is that you can kind of really have a question, and you can also ask to that question to be answered, as it was before, so with different types of text, but also with images. And this is really cool because it just gives you that, as you can see here, that visual dimension. So if you want to ask, is this part of this year's collection, or which picture is not following the rules or is following the rules, you can really make very visual questions like this. So it's a very simple one, but we think it will really enhance the experience for the learner. And of course, on the admin side, you just have a little bit more freedom to basically work with different types of questions and different types of dynamic interactions with your learners.
Yes, I think this was an important step forward. We also plan to have not just images, but more multimedia, like videos and audio that can also display like a specific action, and you need to decide which is the correct one, for example. But images are already a really great step forward.
Great. Thanks a lot for this additional input. So let's now jump to another update, which is related to the authoring tool. And this is about textiles. So we're going to have a few releases regarding the textiles and fonts setup in general, upcoming later this year as well. But starting with the global settings, you can already choose to define the sizes. It's basically about the font sizes for the desktop and for mobile, so that by default when you choose certain headings or paragraph, you can define immediately that it should be, for example, 50 points for the desktop and 30 for phone. You can also decide on some additional decoration to these, so pre-decide on bold, on italics, and all of that. So it already gives you much more flexibility in terms of predefining your settings, especially if you compare mobile and desktop. As you can see, it's immediately reflected. Those are for the moment global settings, so you can set them once and then they are followed in the next slides as well. But more is still to come. I don't know, Gabor, if you'd like to shed a bit light on what's coming about the fonts.
No, I'm not telling anything. It's a secret. It's top secret. No, yeah, for sure. Yeah, so this improvement now is like the global setting to add your brand, like to adhere to your brand, to say you want to use a specific size of font and so on. But yes, in the future, we are going to have local styles as well. So if you want to add additional headings, additional styles, and they will be like tied with the lesson itself. So you will have even more flexibility, because at the moment it's really like a global setting, which is already great. But the next step is to create, let's say, local styles as well. And also we are going to create so-called style themes, so to say, that you can package a few styles together, name them somehow, and then apply this theme on a specific lesson. So, because we are going to also add a different font family supports, more than what we have right now, and you could say this lesson will follow this brand guideline, and the other one will follow the other brand guideline. So yeah, these are about textiles.
Yeah, you will definitely hear more on this topic in the next few months, so stay tuned. For now, you can really enjoy the global settings of defining those styles. Um, Great. The next topic on our agenda is custom lesson types. And this is a pretty exciting feature update as well. Maybe Mario, you can take us through this one.
Yeah, absolutely. So what it really means is that, as you can see here, you can now add new labels, so podcast or document or video. And what that means is that you can have a lesson be a lesson, but you can also say, actually, this lesson is just going to be a podcast element on the learning path, or I want to show it just as a video on the learning path. And that will allow you to show those labels also then on the learning path. So it's really nice. To have basically the flexibility to not only have it be lessons only, those little units, but also be able to really rename them to podcast or video, and then to have that also be reflected in the learning path that you're building. And then, as you can see here, once you've done that in the backend system, you can then easily select it as well from the drop down when you're creating a new lesson, and you can say what kind of lesson type it is. So we just realized that there was a need with our clients to sometimes label something more as a podcast or as a video rather than really lesson. And so we really realized that this will make it a lot easier for different clients to really realize their full e-learning vision on the platform as well.
Yeah. So we many times get the request that I would like to add, for example, just a single document or just a single video in a learning path, or I want to create podcasts and so on. And technically speaking, we have already this nice slide builder and lesson system. So we thought we are going to utilize that. So you can still create them as lessons with, let's say, a single slide. This single slide you can edit as you wish, as you usually do with lessons, but you can define this specific type for it, this name for it. So it's really giving like a lot of additional flexibility as you build your learning path to say, okay, and now you have to watch this video or read this document as a single step, because sometimes these are very important steps, let's say, so they shouldn't be hidden behind a lesson some sort. And that's why we have these types. But you still have all the tracking possibilities, right? So to see how many people completed all these lessons or how much time was spent and so on.
Yeah, it may be a small feature indeed, but quite an exciting one in a sense that you can really customize your
It's
content.
not powerful. So
Yeah,
it will be nice.
definitely. Um, Perfect. So the next admin related point is the new users tab view for filters. So this one is a bit more technical. So Gabor, if you don't mind.
I'm sure. I'm giving the word to Maria because I think it's more UX.
Yeah, I was
We had this internal
yeah,
joke actually. We have
yeah.
this internal joke. Is it? Yeah. Because, but actually, really, Mario, you can maybe say a few more words about it because we received this request to make it more simple and easy to understand, and that's where this update was coming from. I think the technical part of it is the manage filters function, the right top that we can see that every admin can hide some of the filters which let's say are never used, and it's really a personal preference, so we don't know which admin prefers which filter, but here, as you can see in animation, you can hide them, so you don't see them until you really don't need it again. But yeah, Mario, maybe you can talk about the UX part of
Yeah,
things.
definitely. It was definitely a big UX project, and it was also really coming from different clients really working with this page and basically giving us the feedback. It was a little bit too technical before. So before we had like the different sections of filters, and it wasn't, the most user-friendly solution. We really realized that. So what you see now, indeed, as Gabor said, there's kind of two sections to this. There's the big pop-up where you can really see all the filter options. But then once you select those types of filters that you need, the system will also remember that. And it's not per brand, it's really per person. So my individual filters might be different than Gabor or than Julia, for example. And what makes that really easy is that then when the next time I come back, I don't need to go in again and set specific filters. If it knows that I'm only looking at country or I'm only looking at another filter, it will leave that filter there for me and it'll be a lot more user friendly. So you have those little labels that you'll see that will stay basically once you've selected them. It does mean that the first time you go in, you kind of need to set your filter preferences and you might need to fine tune that the first few times you use it. But then once you've kind of found your filters that you use most often, then the system will really review that and keep it like that. The other thing is that, just a general user page had a little bit of a cleanup, let's say. We just tried to make it a little bit more visual and a little bit, more easy to see so that you really see all the key information at one glance. So it was really a bit of a UX exercise just to really make sure that it's a really friendly experience, that when you get to user page, you really see easily their tags, easily their roles, and you can also easily filter users. So we hope you have a really good experience now also moving forward with the user page.
Amazing. Thank you for those insights. Cool. So now moving on, we have manager view for admins. This is actually a front end feature for certain admins. You can really define it as well. But what it means is that you normally can access the manager view while on the app, and we're presenting that with the mobile because it's actually also very user friendly in terms of the access for managers when they're, for example, in store and they really need to very quickly see an overview. So maybe on the details here, you can take us through, Gabor.
Yeah. Yes, I think because we are more and more retail focused, we have many retail clients, then the need was arising that many managers are in the shop and they don't have access to a desktop computer, yet they would like to see the evolution of their team, the progress of their team. Let's say there's new course release and how many people are completed it from my own team. Of course, this information is also available on the desktop, but it is like more easy to access while being on the go or just being in the store. This is primarily made for mobile. So we have three sections: an overview section, the list of users, and the list of content. So on the overview, you really see the latest content that was released. What is the knowledge retention, and from the user section you see everyone who you have access to see per person progress, and also quiz. It's very much focused on knowledge retention and quiz results, because learning is important, okay, to see like what is the progression, but also how much was really understood from the course. And this is where the quiz is coming in into the game. So right, this is the new manager, again version 1.0, but also already quite complete, because from different directions you can check progresses from content direction, user direction. You can filter by tags, you can filter by tags. For example, you tag a few content as new or trending or important, and then you can really also focus just on those contents. So it's really giving a nice insight for like local managers.
Yeah, exactly. So this is very useful for the managers when they really don't have time to go to the admin panel and really have a quick overview on the learning progress. Thanks for all the details, Gabor. Amazing. So let's jump now very quickly to our new feature, totally brand new feature, I would say, which is a coupon code system. Maybe Mariel, you want to tell us a bit more about the idea behind it.
Yeah, so for the coupon code, it's a really cool feature as well, because basically it allows us to allow the users to basically admin users to generate codes and to really offer discounts of, for example, their products or a set of products or a range of products in a store, that they can then really use for online shopping purposes. So basically, we could imagine that a team completes a certain quiz or a certain course, and then they get a special credit or a special coupon that allows them a certain discount in a real online store. What's really cool about this is, of course, that it really then crosses over from our platform into the real shopping experience of the client. And that can really allow the users to basically, yeah, interact with the content, um, and then really also feel that there is a big reward behind it, a big carrot behind it. And of course, that can be a huge driver for a lot of employees and a lot of ambassadors of a brand. So we think this is quite a nice, I mean, it's definitely very nice in retail, but I think in other industries it can be applied as well. You can really look at it as sort of a real reward, going beyond the badge. So it's obviously optional, but you can then really have the possibility to use it as well.
Great, thank you, Mario. Gabor, I don't know if you want to mention something more about the technical setup here, because there are a few steps that you need to configure first. So maybe we can go through that in detail.
Yes, so you can have different kind of coupons, with different kind of percentages, or it can be like a specific product or perk. And then for each of them, you can add the list of coupon codes, which are usually generated by like a sales system, a web shop system. And when you're ready with uploading all this, then the badges part come the next step, that you need to select which badge do you assign this coupon to, because of course not all of your badges need to have a coupon. You really decide if you want to have one or more badges. And when someone completes something and gets a badge for it, which has a coupon, then the code is going to appear. So this is how it goes. So it gives a lot of flexibility indeed, to say after which action I'm going to give this coupon. It has to be like a badge in the middle, but anyways, when the learner does something which is rewarded with a coupon, I mean, it's also great to give a badge for it. So that's why we took this decision to connect coupons with badges in general, and not to build a separate system behind coupons. And it's really like a very good combination like this to motivate learners, because of course we know sometimes it's not easy, how to motivate learners that they need to do these different courses, a learning path. But this one is guaranteed to work. We have many clients who reported that this is a really good strategy that works in-house when there's a possibility to add this, yeah, to the learning experience.
Okay, I see we already have a question. Maybe it's related to the coupon code, and now we look at it so we can already answer it. The question is, can the coupons be integrated into an e-shop system?
So
Yes.
it's the other way around a little bit. It's like the eShop system, which is creating the coupon codes, and that needs to be added to the LMS. So there is no direct communication between the two platforms, at least at the moment. It's a very fresh feature. But once, so yeah, let's say you generate 100 coupons on the eShop system, you add it to import it to the LMS in a way, and then the LMS will select a unique code for each user when they complete the content. So one code is for one user. So all of them are unique, and after in the statistic under the admin area, you see how many codes you still have left in the LMS, or which are the ones which are issued to someone, when they've been given. So there's a full tracking behind as well here that you can see. So you can really track the usage of these coupons, and if needed, you can import to the LMS additional systems. So there is, yeah, this kind of a solution.
Great, thanks a lot for already answering it. Let's now jump to our two last topics before we move to the Q&A blog. So the last two feature updates we have devoted to events, and this is actually about managing the access. So the first one is to give an access to an event upon content completion. So it's quite straightforward, as you can see already on the animation. You can define the different references to the content, so to the courses, lessons, quizzes. And you also have a possibility to choose different rules. So it can be any content from the referenced ones, or it is necessary to complete all of them. And also in the app view, the users will be informed that they need to, for example, first complete this or this and this content in order to get access to that event. So they could already see the event, but they cannot sign up for it unless they complete certain content. So seems quite straightforward, but it could be nicely integrated into your learning experience strategy as well. So that and stages are available only upon content completion.
Right, exactly. So this is very similar to what we have now for learning path, that users might see it, but it is locked to kind of join or take part of it. So a very similar mechanism that we see here. But we have another feature as well that maybe was seen. I don't know if it's a separate slide, but on the top we've seen that we have a user per user access also for events, webinars, and in-person events. Um, uh, Before we had public, so an event can be public. Some groups are accessing it, or like people access it who has access to another content, but there's a fourth one, private, for specific users. This is very good for integration with learning path, or when you want to have an event and you want to cherry pick which users can have access to it, can see it. For example, if people reach to a level in the learning path, or they completed some other content, I mean, the rule is up to you. Who do you invite? Because once such an event is created, you can really cherry pick the users. It can be even a one-on-one event in a way, and then really just a few people are going to see this. So this is as I said, is an important part for our progresses when it comes to blended learning and learning paths, which is going to be the topic for the next webinar. But many of our clients asked for this, so we are very happy that now we have this public or specific users kind of feature for webinars and in-person events.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe to clarify the difference between the accesses to make it really clear is that when you really go for private for specific users, it means that nobody can see the event. So with other settings, with other accesses, whether it's public or whether it's private for selected groups, the group members, the public, the whole public can see those events in the events tab, and they can be invited to it by sending an invitation email, or they can seamlessly sign up for it. But with the private for specific users, the case is that no one can see it except for the ones that are invited. So first, you can really create the event and decide on choosing private for specific users. And until you actually invite someone, the event will be, invisible to the rest. As Gabor mentioned, it's a pretty specific feature that can even allow like one-to-ones or small groups collaboration, which is more private than the other events that are, let's say, semi-private in terms of global access and registration options. All right, I think we covered all the topics from our agenda, so now it's time for our Q&A session. And I already see one question
Yes.
in our chat from Cyril. So it's a question for the authoring tool quiz updates. Will there be also a possibility to add images to matching quiz widgets?
So this is an interesting one. I believe it's already planned by the UX team on Gabor. I'm not 100% sure. I have a doubt. I feel like I've seen something similar. I know we don't have it in development yet, but I do feel like it has been sketched out already by the UX team. Is that correct? Or is it still sort of earlier phase?
I don't remember because we had this general idea, generally speaking, to give multimedia capabilities to all quiz questions of some
Yes,
sort.
exactly.
So, and where we are with this one, I really don't know, but I'm sure that we would like to extend these capabilities, generally speaking, for sure.
Yes,
So
definitely.
it's coming.
And
It's
maybe
coming. We just need to let you know a little bit when. So that will be the next question. So Cyril, let us keep you posted on when, but it's absolutely coming, and I think this will be a super nice extension as well. Sorry,
yeah.
Julia. Too.
No, no, no. All good, all good. I just wanted to clarify that some of those may be a bit more tricky than the others. That's why we're, let's say, releasing them in different patches. And it's only because some of the quiz widgets and when we introduce the multimedia aspect to them, they really need to be thought through quite thoroughly in terms of mobile, especially, just to really make sure that the matching quiz widget, for example, with images is well adjusted also to mobile to make sure of it. So that's why let's say we're still in the UX phase with those. But as Mario mentioned, we'll keep you posted definitely on what's coming for the quiz widgets.
I don't know if there's any other questions for today. I guess some of the features were quite straightforward, but I don't know if anyone at all has any questions before we wrap up today's session.
Hi, Marilyn, Gabor, and Julia. Abby from Tisto.
Yes.
I have a question regarding the manager view for admins on the app.
Mhm.
So this feature will be on the left hand side of the application, but we will keep the pencil icon on the desktop. Is that right?
Yes, yes, of
Okay.
course. These are different. Yes,
Mhm.
these are different features. So of course you can still go and edit easily as an admin,
Mhm.
but on mobile you have the manager view. Mhm.
Okay. So maybe I could include this to our guidelines for the admins. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be really nice for store managers, I think, just to keep
Mhm.
track of their teams or the regional managers as well when they're on the go and they don't have their laptop open.
Exactly. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
And we didn't add the slide, but maybe we will add for the next webinar because I think a general question is that, okay, guys, it's very nice, but what are you working on right now? many of our clients will, want to see like what is in progress. So let me just give you three key areas that we are focusing this month and next month.
Yes, please.
It's one of them is dashboards, to have a better looking dashboard, but also we have new widgets, new information coming to the dashboard. Then the second is reporting. We are going to extend the user reporting with new data that you can select. And a bit longer term, we are planning to have like a more robust reporting system. So more information will come, but already for the next webinar, we will have new information that you can download as reports. So dashboard and reporting, very important. And the third one is really, as I mentioned, the blended learning, which is the capability or let's say linked events in blended learning kind of to support learning paths better, which means to add uh, more events on the same topic, more times and dates, and add one event into the learning path, and then the users can select which date they are going to access. So uh, this is three topic that we can assure you more news are going to come on the next webinar with details and exciting insights.
Those are great news. Thank you.
Great. So I think that was it for today. I mean, yeah, it's really good that so many of you could join. We hope it's useful that to get a sneak peek of all those new features coming out right now. And really appreciate everyone's questions, participation, and of course your presence. And also, of course, a thank you to everyone for watching it later. But thank you, everyone. Have a lovely afternoon, and we'll be back next month with the next updates.